Hello everybody and welcome to the AOR F1 2016 Season 12 Championship. We're at Hockenheim for the 12th round and the German Grand Prix. My name is Justin and I'll be taking you on this journey today, but I'm also joined by a man who is probably more famous than the person his name is based on at this point. It is Fisi.
Jesus, I'm not sure about that, but thanks for the introduction, Justin, and it's nice to be back with you in the commentary box again. Looking forward to this German Grand Prix. Absolutely love the Hockenheim circuit, and it should be a great race.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Plenty of overtaking locations, particularly turn 6, the hairpin. I'm expecting lots of overtakes into there, possibly even 3 wide at points. We didn't race at Germany last season in Season 11, but in Season 10 it was Limitless who took home the win. But that's it for the intro. We got 16 turns, 34 laps ahead of us, but first, let's do the qualifying comparison.
So this week's AOR qualifying comparison comes in the form of Ciari versus the Flying Finn, the top two in the championship in the Xbox Tier 1 at the moment in Germany. Going through turn 1, taking quite a lot of curb on the inside, but of course making sure not to get a corner cutting warning. And now heavy braking down into turn number 2. The Flying Finn actually missing the apex ever so slightly and then getting quite a snap of oversteer, which will lose him some time as he comes through the end of the first sector. But at the DRS line is actually the Flying Finn in the Williams, who is ever so slightly ahead of Ciari on the left-hand side. Running up through the gears and now reaching a top speed of almost 215 miles an hour down, though braking heavily into the hairpin. And Ciari actually runs a little bit wide, which again will lose him some more time. The Flying Finn again struggling just a little bit with traction coming out of the hairpin as they now go through this very quick and obviously flat out right-hander down towards this heavy braking zone again into this left-hander. Ciari taking a lot more curbing on the inside, which will gain him a little bit more time, and then being careful with the traction coming through the right-hander as we now approach the stadium section. As you can see, Ciari was now ever so slightly ahead as they go past that line and into the final sector of the track, which of course goes through the stadium section here at the Hockenheim ring. Braking heavily again down into this snail-like hairpin, the banking of course on the inside. The Flying Finn again losing the back end ever so slightly, which was a trait really of this lap. Now through the penultimate few corners, and you can see that Ciari's built up a little bit of a lead. Characteristic short shifting from him and using a bit more curb on the outside as he comes across the line to beat the championship leader, the Flying Finn, to the line for 4th place by a 1/10 of a second.
Thank you, Niren, for that qualifying comparison. Let's look at the results then, and you can see it's AOR Reversal on pole position for this race. His first pole of the season, apparently with a little bit of cheeky slipstream to help him out on his lap, but still incredibly impressive to be over 3/10 of a second ahead of TRL Martin in P2. Then in P3 there's Snowadore on the super soft tires. As you can see, everyone else on the soft tires. The Snowadore has taken the plunge in qualifying to go all the way up to P3 on those super softs, so ahead of Ciari on the second row. Then Cyril Hamilton and the Flying Finn, the championship leader, will be on the third row. ATR Cupid and Limitless will share the fourth row together in P7 and 8, while Limitless' teammate Lucky Dog will be right behind him in P9. The top 9 separated by less than a second. Then Leobot will round out the top 10 ahead of Burnout F1. And then on the second page we got Cyril Rosberg in P12 still as a reserve driver, and he's closely followed by SDS F1 Alonso and Mike Marshmallow also on the soft compound tires. Then there's 3 super soft runners in Falken, Raikkonen and Jason, probably aiming for that elusive 11th spot on the grid without really being able to get all the way up there. And then Six Skills and Ycoms are the final 2 to set a time. Andre and Stries chose not to set a time and will be starting at the back of this 21 driver grid for the German Grand Prix. Let's see how they all do in the race.
Welcome to the grid here at Hockenheim ahead of the AOR German Grand Prix. It is looking fairly overcast, so it looks like we might have some precipitation in the air ahead of this race. It is looking very cloudy indeed, and it's been a couple of races. It's been a little while. Yeah, 67% chance of rain, Fizzy. It's been a while since we've seen some rain.
Yeah, it has, and it should be very interesting. 67%, that means we're almost certain to see some rain for even maybe a long period of the race, but it starts dry, so these guys will have to, at least the top 10 will have to start on the tires they qualified on, of course, and the Flying Finn here. The championship leader is starting down in P6, will be interesting to see how he gets on, and if he will be challenged for the win this time.
Yep, the only driver in the top 10 on the Supersofts on your screen right now, that is Snowadore in the Manor. He is starting from 3rd position And on those super soft tires, he could be a bit of a threat early on. I'm sure he's going to hold that place fairly well. But of course, his tires are going to drop off much quicker than the other drivers. He may have to pit for another set of slicks before the rain comes, potentially. It really just depends on how all of this weather plays out, but it does take a little bit of the strategy away from it, Fizzy. It's really down to when the rain first comes. That's what's most important for these soft and medium compound runners.
Yeah, definitely. These guys will obviously have gone into the race in the testing, planned out a strategy for the dry weather. But now, when they see the weather forecast for the race, it's all thrown out the window. They'll be expecting rain at some point, and surely their plan, if I was in their shoes, would be to try and stay out as long as possible so that they will not have to stop before the rain comes down.
Yep, I'm sure that is going to be the goal for absolutely everybody on the grid, and Snowadore particularly, I imagine, is going to be praying that the rain comes soon. Here we go, the lights are coming on now. We're on board with Seiryu in the Renault as the lights go out and away they go. It looks like a pretty good start for the top four. They're going to slot into the positions that they started in. Seiryu might look up the inside. No, he's going to defend from the outside from CRL Hamilton. Snowadore, ooh, goes off track, has a big moment there. That's going to drop him all the way down into 7th position at the least. TRL Limitless now having a look already on the Flying Finn. Started a couple of positions behind him. The Flying Finn up one place ahead of Snowy. Limitless with a little bit of contact with Cupid there. And Lucky Dog doing well to stay out of that. Snowadore holding on to that 7th place position. Here we go, Seiryu now pressuring for 3rd position. Coming under pressure, I should say, for CRL Hamilton. And there's some contact between Snowy and Limitless at the hairpin, the turn 6 hairpin. I was expecting a lot of action at that hairpin, but not that kind of action.
Yeah, it's always unfortunate. It's always tricky in that braking zone on the first lap when you got heavy fuel. You aren't quite used to going in there with this kind of fuel after coming up qualifying, as we now got a car off the inside of Lucky Dog. Oh, and that's Snowadore. Snowadore has lost it on the exit of that corner. Luckily ghosted for these guys. Oh, and Falcons made contact with the rear tire of Burnout as well. And luckily for him, getting super close to the wall, but not hitting it. So he has got an intact front wing still as Jason goes past Strees there towards the back of the field. Ycoms trying to make a move now in the stadium section on 6 skills. He's going to try to hold it around outside there on the soft tires compared to Ycoms' mediums, and he does this beautifully to keep Ycoms down in P16 for a little bit longer. Martin with the fastest lap, and that means that Martin's taking the lead actually up front ahead of AOR Reversal, who started on the pole.
Yeah, Reversal with that pole position, as mentioned in the qualifying report, of course, now dropping down into 2nd position. Start of lap number 2, no DRS just yet, but it is a very, very long straight here. I'm not sure if he's going to be pressuring for the lead, but I think Hamilton here is going to be pressuring Seiryu. Seiryu moves to the right-hand side to defend the inside line, heading into this turn 6 hairpin. The Flying Finn is going to make it 3 wide just about into the turn 6 hairpin. We're only on lap number 2, and we've already got one 3 wide moment here, and it looks like the Flying Finn is going to do it. He's going to grab 2 positions in one corner.
Oh my god, an extremely good move from the Flying Finn. Seiryu though, he's going to dive straight up the inside in the Mercedes corner and actually slowing it down, forcing the Flying Finn to back out of it actually, and getting that P3 straight back. Some great battling there, and Limitless now going off the track, and it's been given a illegal overtake there, which is probably fair enough considering how far he was over that corner, to be fair. But Alonso then stays ahead in P6, and a gap already forming from Alonso up to the top 5 actually, and Limitless will therefore surely be very eager now to make this move on him as soon as possible so he can start a chase of the top guys.
Yeah, Alonso's now in 6th position, started outside the top 10. I'm not sure exactly how far down he'd started, but yeah, he was a ways down, now up into 6th on the medium compound tires as well. DRS now activated as we begin lap number 3. Lucky Dog getting a little bit wide at the exit of turn number 1 there, and the gap is definitely starting to form between Seiryu and AOR Reversal. Here comes the Flying Finn, attempt number 2 to overtake Seiryu. He was successful on the last one, but had another car in between them that he had to deal with first. It looks like it's going to be a bit more straightforward for the Williams driver this time into turn number 6. He's going to get that position fairly easily. I think TRL Limitless as well, fairly straightforward overtake for him as well on the medium shod runner of STS F1 Alonso behind him now as he moves up a position. Jason 97 F1 doing some battle with HDR Cupid. Quite a ways down the order for Cupid. Started out in 7th position, yeah, and then he had those issues at the beginning of the race, and it looks like some yellow flags up ahead as well. I'm not sure if we have a car off the circuit. No, it looks like back to green flag racing, so no problems there. But yeah, Jason 97 F1, I think losing that position to HDR Cupid if I'm not mistaken, but Reversal is back in the lead now.
Yeah, he is actually, yeah. We haven't really seen what happened there, but he's gone back past Martin into the lead of the race. Those two breaking away a little bit up front. Only 0.5 of a second between them, so Martin will be sure looking to grab the DRS now. Oh, unless he spins into the wall, he just about saves it back there. A good job from him. So Lucky Dog now in P7. And already getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That is not what you really want after 4 laps of this race. But yeah, obviously a few groups starting to form out front, but here towards the midfield and towards the back of the field, there's cars absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, Cupid claiming another victim, moving up ahead of Ycoms, so grabbing a couple of positions in the last lap or so. And it looks like AOR Raikkonen up ahead, coming under attack from Andre BCF 1997 as well. HCR Cupid might make it 3 wide, but no, Andre's got the move done. Cupid along the inside now of turn 6. Ycoms takes advantage of Raikkonen after he goes very deep into that hairpin, so he's going to lose a number of positions, unfortunately for him. Oh, and Lucky Dog with some contact with Burnout F1. Burnout goes spinning. I think he's lost his entire front wing. Time penalty has been given to Lucky Dog as well. AOR Raikkonen making an illegal overtake, having to give a position back to Ycoms as well. Andre and Cupid now going side by side. Cupid now up into 11th position around the outside of turn 11. Fantastic move, and he's got Lucky Dog just up ahead for a points-paying position. So HCR Cupid, the Red Bull driver, almost back into the points already.
Yeah, and look how dark it's getting now. I swear, I'm not sure if I'm just seeing things, but I swear at some point during this lap even, I've seen a few raindrops on some of the screens of these drivers, but at the moment I'm trying to look for them. I can't really see them. Risto goes into the pit lane, whether that's for damage or for any sort of tires. Surely it'll be too early now. Even if he also has spotted some raindrops, it'll surely be too early by this point to change. Yeah, and I definitely think I'm seeing some raindrops here coming down into the hairpin. For Reversal and Martin. Still battling for the lead. Reversal going very, very deep there, just breaking a little bit too late, but getting nicely on the throttle to retain the position. Limitless still battling with Alonso, actually can't shake him off for P5 now at the moment. And at the moment he has got it. Lucky Dog trying to make a move on Leobot, going very deep, and has the car on his inside as well, so he has to leave room on the apex. Turn right, my friend. You don't want to be squeezing Leobot off onto the grass, and so far so good, Justin. But they're still going to be side by side down into turn 8.
Oh, and it looks like Leobot with a bit of a lift there is going to he's still just about alongside, but still a 4-way scrap going on for 11th position. Not far behind that battle going on up ahead for 9th. It looks like Andre is going to hold on to that 11th place position. Ycoms now trying to shoot up the inside of turn number 11 to grab that position off of HCR Cupid, who looked to be on quite a charge.
Wait, Martin's in the pits. Martin's in the pits.
Yeah, Martin looking like he's coming in very early. Yeah, the Flying Fin and the AOR Reversal both continuing on for another lap on those soft compound tires. But yeah, looks like Martin has already gone onto the intermediates. We can see that up to the top left-hand corner. TRL Limitless, who earlier this season struggled by coming in too late for the intermediates, is now going in quite early for the intermediates, so he's not going to make that mistake again. Ycoms now overtaking Andre BCF 1997 at the inside of turn number 1 for what is now 6th position. And TRL Martin has actually fed out just ahead of Ycoms, so this will be very interesting. That's the gap to watch, I think. Oh, and Lucky Dog with a big moment coming out of the pits. I wonder, is that going to be a penalty? I'm not entirely sure, I guess not.
I think Lucky Dog already has 2 3-second penalties, and that's another warning for him, so he really needs to calm down a little bit. As now Ycoms and Andre still out on those slick tires, of course, and starting to struggle, as you saw Andre go very wide on the hairpin. Yet there were so many cars, the vast majority of the grid, I think, went in for the intermediates, as now Jason going past Lucky Dog on the straight. Still with DRS active, actually, despite going onto the inter, so it's not been disabled just yet by the race director. And the Flying Fin and Reversal and CRU now the top three as you can see, but they will have to pit, I would assume, at the end of this lap, responding to Tyrrell Martin, and the other guys have gone in, and they will indeed go in. So it'll be interesting to see how they feed out, and now we might just have a wet weather race till the end.
Yep, yeah, it's looking that way. We're only 6 laps in, still have 28 laps of racing to go. The Flying Fin, your championship leader, into the pits for a set of intermediate tires. It's a 2.9-second stop for him. Sayaru as well, fitting a set of the intermediates. He's going to come out after 2.4 seconds. A little bit better pit stop there is going to put him pretty close to the Flying Fin as they exit to start lap number 7. STS F1 Alonso will come in behind him. Ycoms now into the pits for the medium. So, Fizzy, the way this rain has come in, you have to say it's probably benefited the soft compound runners the most.
Yeah, definitely, because I think even Snowadore started on the super softs will have managed to make it without an earlier stop before the rain came down, although he obviously had his issues, so we didn't really see where he ended up in then. But yeah, I think definitely starting on the faster tires at the start will have given those guys a better start to the race, and also didn't have time for those tires to wear out. So yeah, definitely a good gamble for those guys.
Yep. I think that was the right call. Definitely the happy medium there. Ycoms pressurizing Hamilton a little bit. Hamilton going a little bit deep into that turn 6 hairpin. That could cause him to lose a position. RS Falcon as well coming under attack from Lucky Dog 2000 now. He had the inside line as well for that turn 6 hairpin. Moves up into P13. AOR Reversal currently leading this race, so it does look like staying out that extra lap has benefited him, as TRL Martin appears to be a couple seconds behind, if my eyes don't deceive me. We'll get a nice
I'm gonna guess 1.3. That's my
1.3. That is much more accurate than mine. But yeah, they're going to cross the line to finish lap number 7 now, and it is 2 seconds.
Really?
Yes!
How is it 2 seconds? Come on.
I got it. Yeah, but Reversal looking pretty comfortable, because actually Martin's got Flying Fin for company, as you can see on the mini-map, so it's looking pretty good for the Sauber driver.
Yeah, definitely. Reversal obviously hasn't won a race yet in this league, and looking for his first one of the season. But it's got, of course, Tyrrell Martin and the Flying Fin, and not far behind two guys who have, got a lot of wins in the league and have experience in doing so. But Reversal, he really has impressed on several occasions this season, has got several podiums to his name, but is looking for that elusive win, and he's gotten a very good start to this race to hopefully for him make it happen.
And actually we're going to get some replay. Finally, the action has slowed down a little bit. We can get some replays. Go ahead, talk us through the opening laps, Fisi.
Well, Snowadore just completely misjudged the turning, really. For turn 1 went well wide and then got some oversteer on the off-track area, and luckily didn't take anyone out when he spun back across, so lost a few positions there. And then we have the view from Jason's. Oh, and it's been hit by his teammate, actually. I think I saw another car on the inside
Rosberg.
of... Yeah, so maybe Raikkonen had to avoid him, and that's why he hit into Jason. But we'll actually see a tear. That's Rosberg. No, he wouldn't have been in the way of Raikkonen. So I think Raikkonen just misjudges, and then Ycoms literally trying to take off into the space there, jumping up a little bit. But, so a little bit of carnage towards the back of the field to turn 1, but luckily I don't think there was any major damage. And Ycoms not even losing any part of his front wing as Limitless. Yeah, this is when he got tapped by Snowadore into the hairpin, and losing a couple of positions as a result of it. So. As usual in this league, very, very frantic at the start.
Yes, yeah, and this is when, actually this just happened not that long ago. Flying Fin trying to grab a position on Martin with the inside line at turn 6. Looks like he's going to get the position done, and yeah, he's got the grip coming out of the corner as well to hold on to it. Jason 97 on the attack on Andre. Same corner, same move, same everything. Pretty much cookie cutter position change right there at turn 6. Again, we fully expected to see lots of that type of stuff. AOR Raikkonen moving very slowly through turn 2. Strees as well trying to navigate his way by him, and RS Falcon trying to pick up a bit of slipstream here. Hopefully this doesn't end in tears. He's getting kind of close. There we go. He's going to move up into P18. AOR Raikkonen having a day to forget so far, down in 19th position on lap number 10 now. And the rain is looking heavier on certain parts of the track. Like here at the end of the lap on board with Reversal, it didn't seem nearly... Yeah, look at that! On board with Falcon, it definitely seems much worse. I was about to ask, oh gosh, and Falcon and Strees getting tied up on one of another there, one of each other there, if I could speak properly. And it looks like they are still separated by not very much here. They're going to go side by side into turn 11 in these conditions.
Very brave.
Oh gosh, very close between them, but it looks like Strees is going to come out on top. AOR Raikkonen now going to try around the outside at turn 12, the cambered left-hander, but it looks like he is not going to be successful on that one. So some pretty interesting battling going on for positions that aren't even close to being points paying, but of course always very competitive here in AOR.
Yeah, good battling there between the two Frenchmen in the league, and Raikkonen getting a bit involved as well. It was obviously Falcon and Strees, two guys who we've seen towards, definitely way into the top 10 in races previously in the season, but yeah, not having a day to remember at the moment around Hockenheim. Currently on board with the Ycoms going down into the hairpin. And he's in P8, so he's definitely gained some positions since the dry part of the race there, because I remember he was down in 14th, 13th in the first few laps. As we now have a replay, Lucky Dog with Bernard coming out the inside, nearly hitting into the side of Andre. Luckily, they managed to find a little gap between Andre and Lucky Dog, but that means that overtake, unfortunately for him, failed. But yeah, no damage done, as we now are on with the Flying Finn for a replay going on the main straight.
Yeah, the Williams team radio, they're saying heavy rain in the next 5 minutes as well.
Right. Good spot, because I didn't actually listen properly. But yeah, and I noticed the gap too. Oh my word, Alonso, that's not how you want to drive that straight, I think. Not quite sure what happened there.
Let's see, Lucky Dog is approaching the scene of that accident right now, actually. It looks like STS F1 Alonso was just rejoining the circuit as another car was coming into that turn 8. Reversal finishing lap 17 now, halfway through 50% distance of this 50% distance race, so getting towards the end now. And again, it's looking even more comfortable for Reversal. I really don't want to put the commentator's curse on him here, Fizzy, but it does look like it's going to be pretty comfortable for him. If he could just keep doing what he's been doing, then I think he'll be in a pretty good spot towards the end of this race, especially if the rain is going to continue. Now, if I remember correctly, it was 60%, something like that.
67, I think, yeah.
Right, so the rain might stop before we get to the end of this race.
Yeah, to be fair, I hadn't really considered that possibility, but there is always a chance that could happen when it starts raining that early in the race, of course. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out at the moment. It is still time for intermediate, so no danger of the wet tires coming out just yet, I would think. But of course, it could well happen in the near future, as we now have the move for P9 with Jason moving to the outside of the hairpin on Cyril Hamilton. Didn't quite see how that worked out, because there's another battle going on a little bit further down the straight. Lucky Dog on Bernard again, and he's got the inside line to defend. Bernard's going to try to cut underneath to get a better exit, but doesn't seem to have been able to do it at the moment. He's trying to find the grip back there. I can see in the mirror. Oh, and he's scared from the indication error. He actually lost a lot of time, so it didn't quite work out for Bernard there. And let's see what the gap is then from Reversal down to the Flying Finn. At the previous sector it was 5.5, so he definitely has got a relatively comfortable gap, as you said, and he has shown himself as a bit of a wet weather specialist as well as Bernard, has Reversal, because the 2 times he has been on the podium this season, second place, China and Austria, both of those races it was also wet.
Yeah, now a 5.7 second gap, and we heard Team Radio a little bit there ago where they were saying the heavy rain's going to stay for 20 minutes, which, if I'm not mistaken, is probably about 13 laps, something like that, which is, yeah, around lap 30, because I think that was a lap or two ago that we were getting
close
that
to the end,
video.
at least.
Yeah, so the rain might just ease up right at the very end, but they did use the words, the verbiage, heavy rain specifically is what he said, so we may see those full wets come out just yet.
That's a good point. As now then, let's see if Jason, so clearly he didn't pull the move off on Hamilton on the previous occasion, but this time he's got an inside line for the hairpin, which might just be the better place to be. If he can get the throttle down, Hamilton doing a better job than Bernard of getting the cutback, because he's got his car alongside actually, and they're going to be side by side now through the turn 7 kink, and Jason being a little bit cautious there and letting Hamilton go. So, you know, you don't want to be risking too much when you're in these conditions. You're already struggling enough as a driver with the condition and just controlling the car on the wet surface. But yeah, when you're starting to battle aggressively at the same time, then it can be very, very easy to make just a little mistake that ends up in an incident. But these guys battling nice and clean at the moment for P9. And would be good to see Hamilton score some more points, because he's one of those drivers who has shown very good pace at times, but hasn't really been able to convert it into results too often.
Oh, and Team Radio there from the Flying Finn, from the Williams team, saying 20 minutes of heavy rain still. So some contradictory weather reports, but yeah, it does look like that basically the rain is going to, yeah, it's going to go right up to the end of the race, if not right up, you know, until the checkered flag. So there may be a couple laps at the end where it's not raining or it's raining lighter, but yeah, it's definitely looking like it's going to be pretty wet for the rest of the day here. Jason 97 F1 trying to get back onto the back of Cyril Hamilton, didn't have the best exit out of turn number 4 there. He's going to look to the inside at the turn 6 hairpin, and Hamilton, I think, got his wheels a little bit on the curbing there while under braking, lost a little bit of traction. Lucky Dog coming under attack once again from Burnout F1. These guys just cannot be separated, but Burnout F1 does get the move done. RS Falcon now coming under attack from a Leobot, who will be to the left-hand side, and this was the same move that, and Raikkonen, AOR Raikkonen behind in 18th position is on the full wets Fisi.
That is interesting, considering he's in 18th and a long way behind. I can't even see him on the map, to be honest. So,
there he is. He just got lapped.
He's lapped. Okay, so I have a feeling that those weather types haven't really worked out for him at the moment. That's what I would say based on that, as Reversal lost his game for some reason, but that's probably just to do a bit of recording for us all. And now Ycoms in P7. Yeah, I noticed actually though on Jason's view earlier that the tire wear on the Inters were going quite high. So these guys will definitely be in the mode to debating with themselves if how long they're going to be staying out on these and wait for the wet weather, because even if the wet weather doesn't come, the heavy rain, they'll still have to make a pit stop at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're going to have to pit one way or the other. You can see it down at the bottom right now, actually, that Lucky Dog 2000 now has disconnected. Never mind. I was going to say that his next tires were listed as the full wets, the extreme wets. But yeah, unfortunately, Lucky Dog has disconnected from the session, so that is very unfortunate. Meanwhile...
What? It says Reversal has left the session.
Oh no! And AOR Reversal has disconnected from the lead of this race.
What?
Oh no! And the Flying Fin is disconnected. Oh my god!
What is going on there?
So the two leaders have been disconnected. That's very interesting. I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe we'll get an explanation.
Xbox Live, why?
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's what happens when you have peer-to-peer connections. But that's great news if you're people driving at the back, maybe just outside of the points or whatever. If you're a Leobot, for example, who is probably maybe just a handful of seconds outside of a points-paying position, possibly.
Said he rejoined the session. So, of course, and Reversal rejoining now as well. So, of course, these guys will have their AI cars continuing to race while they've been out of the session, and they actually seem to have been able to rejoin, actually, which would be good. They will surely have lost some time, though, by the time they can get back in the car with the AI driving at a much slower pace. But it'll be interesting to see how much they've actually lost. Here we go. So, this is surely the Flying Fin getting lights out again to take control of his car, and his P3, so he's dropped to Martin then. He's dropped a bit of time, but luckily he's back in and still in the podium position.
And Martin is right behind Reversal as well.
Oh, yeah.
So what was a 5-second gap between first and second, it now appears to be about a half-second gap between first and second. As we see Lucky Dog losing connection again. So it looked like he was able to get back in, but then lost connection again, unfortunately. RS Falcon getting the braking a little bit wrong, just a small amount wrong, into the turn 6 hairpin. That's going to lose him a position. Limitless, meanwhile, in 5th position, is running fairly well. I wonder if we're going to see him diving into the pits. Yes, we are, and it looks like it is going to be for another set of the intermediates.
It's an interesting choice. So a few different choices potentially coming in with these guys pitting soon. So intermediates gonna go on limitless cars. So he's gambling on the weather not getting too wet in the immediate future, because well, it certainly looks like at the moment that it's staying pretty similar to what it's been for a while, and that is the intermediate conditions, as Tyrrell Martin is going very slow on the side of the straight. I'm not sure if that's just him being sportsmanlike and giving Finn the second place back, but either way, it was definitely going slower than you normally would at that side of that straight. So Martin then back down to P3. A little bit confusion maybe from Flying Fin, didn't really know why there. But yeah, the gap to the leader as well at Reversal is definitely closed down. So now there is a 4-way scrap potentially for the win, with CRU also close behind these guys.
Yeah, and Limitless just pit, obviously, for the fresh set of intermediates, and, these guys are driving around right now. It does look like, Flying Fin is going to go for the extreme wets, the full wets, here, which is very interesting because, again, you know, these guys have been driving around successfully on worn intermediates.
Yeah.
So the fresh intermediates might be the right choice for Limitless here. We will see where he comes out, where the Flying Finn comes out, rather, in relation to Limitless here. So that'll be very interesting to see. But it looks like Martin is going to follow him in as well. But the real question is Martin going to go for the full wets too, or is he going to go for the intermediates?
And Martin's jumped him in the box there, and Ciario, though, he's also in the pits, and he's gone for the inters. So Flying Finn on the wets. Did you see what tires Martin had on?
I couldn't see it. I couldn't quite make it out.
Right, and I think Mike Marshmallow has just come by in the other side. Ycoms come by here. Obviously, these guys will be on the 1 intermediates at the moment, and there is Limitless P7, not too far behind actually, on the fresh inters. So I feel like it probably still is intermediate tires. So it'll be interesting to see what Reversal does when he comes in soon, because he obviously stayed out in the lead.
Right, yeah, good point. Ycoms, though, coming under attack from Ciario. Again, Ciario with the fresh compound, the intermediates on his car, able to get by pretty easily there. Ycoms looking like he was actually just very gingerly, very carefully making his way through that hairpin. Of course, not much downforce assistance through a corner that slow. And, oh man, Burnout F1 going side by side into turn number 6. The Flying Finn has gone a little bit deep. Yeah, those full wets appear to possibly have been a mistake for the Williams driver, as Ciario just does it right around the outside. They're still going to be side by side, heading down into turn 11, still side by side, but Ciario just does it right around the outside.
Great move.
Just makes it look easy. So I think the full wets are the wrong choice here, Fizzy.
And Reversal is still not pitting. He's staying out in the lead there. I would love to see his tire wear screen to see how badly those tires are in a state at the moment. But at the moment, yeah, it definitely seems like the intermediates are working better than the full wet. So Ciario going up past Martin now as well around the final corner. Just look at the traction difference. He doesn't even need to challenge him into the first corner because they're already got his full car ahead and on the racing line. And Ciario passed both the Flying Finn and Martin within the space of half a lap, and is now potentially looking, I'm not going to say favourite for the win just yet because it remains to see what Reversal does, but yeah, maybe you'd have hope for his sake. Oh yeah, there we go.
Holy
70%.
cow.
He has to pit surely within at least the next couple of laps, and the question is, has he seen on his top left that Ciario is now made his way on the inters ahead of the two other guys?
I think he has.
That would give him a big hint as to what tires are going.
Yeah, I think Reversal has made the right decision. He's decided to hang back and wait to see what everybody else does, to see what the right decision is. And man, again,
it's passing the championship leader.
Yeah, just again right around the outside. I mean, Flying Finn defended the inside line, but really just nothing he could do against TRL Limitless. Oh gosh, and I think Reversal wanted to come in on that lap. I think he told the team he wanted to come in for intermediates, but he has stayed out for another lap. And that was a 127.7, not a very good time. If he does pit, he is going to come out actually behind his teammate, Mike Marshmallow, currently in second position in this race, and looking like one of the smart ones, actually, by staying out rather than going onto the full wets, as Limitless just breezes right by. They're not even at the start. Before the start-finish line, he's already passed them.
Yeah, that is such is the difference between the two combos at the moment. So while, you know, some of these guys have clearly trusted their engineers in that heavy rain was going to come, but clearly it wasn't heavy enough for the full wet tires at the moment. And as we are now looking at the replay, HR Cupid coming up the inside of Ycoms at the hairpin, so that is P8 for him at the moment. So a nice clean move for Cupid, who isn't as high up the field as we've usually really seen him based on pace, but at least he seemed to have kept it relatively clean in the race today. So and still on course for a few decent points, as we now have another battle that is for a couple of points as well. Cyril Hamilton defending from Jason. He might not get too much of a choice because of the speed difference there at the end of the straight. Jason, though, has to be wary of him potentially coming up the inside in the braking zone, and he does well to leave just about enough room on the apex. So it's a great move for Jason to take P9, and the Reversal still staying out. I don't understand this. Looking at the tire wear, can he take this to the end? I can't see how he can take this to the end. There's no way he can take this to the end, surely.
No, he's got 8 laps remaining. He just finished lap 26. He's going to try to do 8 more laps on intermediate. I mean, maybe he's thinking that the rain is going to lighten up.
Maybe he's waiting. Maybe he thinks that actual heavy weather is going to come. and was waiting for actually to be time for the full wet tires. But,
unfortunately, I think it's hurting him though. The longer he stays out there, he's just getting slower and slower. So he was in the 127s. Let's see what Ycoms does here as he crosses the line. I'm curious to see what 127.2. Which actually isn't that far off what AOR Reversal is doing on those really worn intermediates. So, maybe we should leave him alone and he knows what he's doing. Because, he is leading the race after all.
Yeah, I'm not going to judge Reversal at the moment. It could well be an absolute masterstroke that he's pulling up at the moment. But I just get very scared for him looking at the tire wear there because.
Yeah. And puncture.
Oh, and there we go. There's a puncture. Front left puncture. I was just going to say that when you have that kind of wear, the tires could go bang at any moment. And just as I was going to say that, the game just proved me right.
Yeah, and I sure hope he's going on to the intermediates here, because especially, actually, the rain on his screen really does not seem very heavy, at least at this part of the circuit. I'm not sure exactly. Oh!
There's no major puddles. That was a lovely drift.
No style points, unfortunately, for coming into the pits sideways, but let's see what happens, what that means for this race as our leader, AOR Reversal, into the pits. Meanwhile, TRL Limitless trying to go around the outside of Reversal's teammate, Mike Marshmallow, in the other Sauber through the final corner, but Mike Marshmallow does end up diving into the pits. So Sayaru
he's
takes
jumped
the lead.
So that is because he's been running on the fresher tires for several laps while Reversal has been trying to hold on to those worn tires, and that has given Sayaru the undercut by several seconds to take the lead of the race at the moment. Of course, Reversal will now have slightly fresher tires, but Sayaru surely will have fresh enough tires for where to not be too major of an issue in the final few laps here. And Limitless we saw in the top 3 at the moment as well, and he's only finished on the podium once previously this season, so maybe on course for a second one, which is unusual to say when it comes to Limitless, but it just shows how difficult the season that he's had compared to normal.
Yeah, it certainly hasn't been an easy one for him. I mean, it's been a difficult one for a number of drivers for sure. Even the Flying Finn has not had it all his own way. I mean, he is there on merit. It's not like he's just super lucky. He's had some very good races. It's easier to be lucky when you're in clear air. I've just noticed that the braking boards for turn 8 are missing on the right-hand side, and I'm pretty sure that's the one that people are using for the most part to find their braking zone for turn 8. So I think that might be why Cupid went wide at turn 8 there, potentially. I don't know when those boards got taken out, but I think that might be what happened there. As RS Falcon, it looks like he is going to lose that position to Lucky Dog 2000 now fairly shortly here. Worth pointing out, I think, in P13 right now is STS F1 Alonso, who was up to P6 in the opening laps on medium compound tires. So things were looking very good for him, but clearly has taken a turn for the worse as this race has progressed. Now finds himself out of the points and on the full wet compound tires as well.
He's gone from 13th on the grid to 6th place at the start of the race, and then back down to 13th now. So not quite gone well for Alonso. It's a shame to see, of course. We saw him sideways at some point, not really know what caused it, but here we go. Still battling between Ycoms and Cupid for P6. And that is Cupid with a relatively easy move, as Ycoms was struggling a little bit with the traction going into there, but he's going to still try to fight it though on the inside for the hairpin. Cupid leaving a good amount of room. Can Ycoms get the traction though with a tighter line? Doesn't look like it, because Cupid has gotten himself ahead, and that is Mike Marshmallow on the even fresher tires just behind Justin, so maybe a 3-way scrap for P6 coming up.
Yeah, he pit not that long ago. I think it was the same lap as his teammate, even, potentially. So
yeah.
I think he's just got a very, very short 6-lap stint to run on that set of intermediates, so he can really push those as much as he possibly wants to. Ycoms has plenty of spare fuel, worth mentioning, I think, as well, although it is difficult to make use of spare fuel in these kinds of conditions. Let's have a look at the replay of the Flying Finn trying to make the move on TRL Martin. Both these guys on the full wet tires. This was on
the wet
lap
tires.
29. Yeah, and those guys clearly struggling. This is one lap later on lap number 30, as again the Flying Finn tries to go up the inside on TRL Martin, but again, really nothing doing. And meanwhile, not that far behind, HCR Cupid and the other people that are doing battle for 6th position are not that far behind these guys. This is now lap 31. The very next lap, the Flying Finn this time trying to go around the outside, but again TRL Martin has him covered. He's just
Great
got the
defending.
measure of him. Yeah, great defending there from the Mercedes driver.
Absolutely. These guys, great to see them go at it. Two guys who have both had several wins this season. Well, Martin's had 2, and the Flying Finn has had too many for me to count. And then, though, look at the gap now between Reversal and CRU. It is not much at all, only a couple of tenths between these guys for the lead of the race, with 2 laps to go in the race. So, it's great to see this late in the race, a battle for the lead. But the question is, can Reversal, on those slightly fresher tyres, make the move here on CRU? Took pole position, of course. It clearly has got a great pace around the circuit. CRU qualified in P4, and now looking like you know, in the best position, because in the wet weather you always want to have track position because there's no DRS or anything like that. But be interested to see how that pans out, as still Martin and Flying Finn going at it down towards the hairpin. This time Flying Finn on the inside line, which he hasn't been previously. Maybe this is the one where he can make his stick, but Martin holding it around the outside and still has got part of his car ahead and getting good traction as well, it looks like. And Flying Finn still can't find a way through the Mercedes.
That is an incredible battle. That's been going on for a half dozen laps or so. Yeah, as you mentioned, Fizzy, I think it's very important to point out that, yeah, Reversal took pole by over 3 tenths to the next car. And on the same compound tires, he did it on the soft compound tires, same as 90%, you know, the other 80% of the people in the top 10 in qualifying. And he was actually 5 tenths quicker than CRU. Oh no! And out of the final corner at the start of the final lap, this Reversal just gets it all wrong. And I think that is his chance at winning this race gone. He could still hold on to second, but I think he is out of it. That gap just cannot be made up in a single lap's time. He's going to have to just have an almighty lap if he's going to try and take back that lead. Meanwhile, RS Falcon making a move on STS F1 Alonso. The two, another fantastic battle going on. I kind of wish everybody had put on the full wets, just purely because it seems to be making the battles just that much better. Limitless, meanwhile, in that third place position, he's going to be very happy with that. Yeah, and he's closed up on Reversal here. He's got pretty good tire wear, not quite as good as Reversal, I don't think. Here comes the Flying Finn for attempt number 536 on TRL Martin up the inside of turn number 6 once again. But once again, Martin just outbraking him a little bit. Slight contact between the two of them. I think that was the Flying Finn's fault there. And it does look like he is going to struggle on the traction out of the corner. And Martin is once again going to hold on to that P4.
Absolutely amazing defense from Martin at the moment, and still there's no way through there for the Flying Finn. He has to just be patient at the moment. This man though, CRU, it's worked out perfectly for him in this race, and it's going to be his second win of the season. Actually, he won the Monaco Grand Prix in the dry, and now he's going to win the German Grand Prix in the wet. Coming across the line now, CRU to take the win in the German Grand Prix, and Reversal holds up to second ahead of Limitless. But Jesus, it's been a fantastic race for all of these guys. Very positive results, and Martin and the Flying Finn, who are used to being on the podium, they will have to settle for P4 and P5 after an amazing battle.
Yeah, still, you know, double-digit point scoring. So, you know, you're a pretty good driver when a bad day is 10 or 12 points.
Yeah.
So, those guys will, of course, be disappointed, as I'm sure they will be, being intense competitors. But yeah, still picking up a nice haul of points. So CRU is going to cut down that lead significantly. RS Falcon and STS F1 Alonso still doing battle. Falcon missing a fairly decent-sized chunk of his front wing. And STS F1 Alonso just going to sneak it up the inside, grab that P13, and yeah, no points, but he does grab some bragging rights there at the very end. We could see in the end that was the winning strategy, Fizzy, going soft, intermediate, the two-stop strategy working very well for CRU, Reversal, and Limitless. In the end, though, I think Reversal really lost that race for himself by staying out too long on that first intermediate stint. I think that was his race to win, but CRU capitalized very well, made the best of his situation, picks up the win, and because of that, will grab 15 points. It was a 73-point deficit heading into this German Grand Prix between CRU and the Flying Finn. That's now going to get cut down by 15 points. So this is great news for the championship, great news for the spectators, the fans, all that kind of stuff. In the end, CRU, Reversal, Limitless, Martin, Flying Finn, Ycoms, Cupid, Jason97 F1, Mike Marshmallow, and CRL Hamilton making up the top 10. So Mike Marshmallow, though, picking up a couple of points for Sauber, a double Sauber points finish, actually.
Yeah, good job by them for sure, as we got to the lower part of the table at the moment. Burnout, SDS F1 Alonso and Falcon, the last guys on the lead lap. And then we have Lucky Dog 2000 now. That's the first of the 7, I think, guys who did after race. 6 kills, Cyril Rosberg, Leobot, AOR Raken, Strees and Snowadore being the other ones. And then, of course, the 2 guys who didn't start the race.
Yeah, so that's always to be expected, though. When wet weather comes, you're going to get some more DNFs for sure. So there we go. There is the confirmation. It is now 58 points between the Flying Finn and Sayaru. HDR Cupid holding on to that third place position, narrowly ahead of TRL Martin, 121 to 120. Reversal now up to 87 points after picking up that second place finish. Limitless as well is now up to 79 points. No position changes for those guys. Ycoms, the only one in the top 10 with any sort of movement, as he moves up ahead of Andre BCF 1997 with that solid finish in the Force India there. Stu and Strees dropping some positions as well. So Ycoms relegating all of those drivers, actually, I believe, with that one finish. So a great day for Ycoms, actually.
Yeah, definitely. And it was about time, I think. He hasn't had the best of times in recent races, so especially last time at Hungary. When
Hungary.
Last lap
Pretty
disqualification. Yeah.
Yep, bad times for sure. But not a lot of movement either, actually, in the Constructors' Championship. Just the Haas team moving up ahead of Toro Rosso thanks to Limitless's podium. So still very close between them, just 9 points separating them. But Williams holding on to that dominant lead. Currently, oh gosh, I can't do that math right now. But yeah, it's a pretty big gap between Williams and Red Bull. Just 1 point though separating Red Bull and Renault. So and Mercedes as well, actually not far off of them, just 15 points adrift, and Sauber not that far back either. So quite a battle going on for second position in the Constructors' Championship. That is going to do it for our coverage of the German Grand Prix, though. Coming up next time is going to be Spa for the Belgian Grand Prix, which is, I mean, that's everybody's favorite. Driver favorite, commentator favorite, spectator favorite. It's just the best, Fizzy.
It really is. The Belgian Grand Prix is just an iconic track and one that everyone loves. So, I mean, we will surely have another fantastic race. It was a great race at the German Grand Prix. Some really, really good battles in the wets. And yeah, really looking forward to the next one as well.
Yep, so that is going to do it for us today. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you next time for the Belgian Grand Prix.